Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the Caiden Cowger program, broadcasting from West Virginia. It is great to have you with us. I tell you, what a weekend it has been. On Saturday, we had a protester who stormed the stage at Donald Trump's rally on Saturday, and Secret Service ended up jumping him and really just had to quickly run to the rescue of Donald Trump, throwing themselves in front of him because they weren't sure if he was going to try to pull a gun on him, if he was going to try to kill him, or what was going to happen. Very scary. But it really did not look good there. I mean, it's amazing that Secret Service was able to jump on that guy as quickly as they did. I mean, they do a very fantastic job. But you had this protester that was at this rally, and we're going to get to the protester here in a second, too, because I want to bring something else up here. But you have this protester that was at the Donald Trump rally on Saturday, and this was in Ohio. And I guess he just was wanting, according to what we have here, it says that it was premeditated. This is from ABC News. It was premeditated, and the protester wanted to grab the mic and yell, "Donald Trump is a racist," is what he wanted to do. And before that could happen, Secret Service just got a hold of him and took that idiot out of there. But another thing that we had that went on over the weekend was a Trump rally in Chicago that was canceled after violent protesters started just storming the place. It was absolutely horrible. I mean, you had police officers that were all bloody, and Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, all the major outlets were saying that they are peaceful protesters. No, they weren't. And we ended up finding out that was a big fat lie that was being spread by the media. They're portraying Trump supporters as being these violent, horrible people. However, you have these protesters that were up against the Trump people that were beating cops, that were beating up on cops. And the media says that they're a peaceful audience. Isn't it amazing to see the state-run media in this country? Isn't it amazing to see how you have so-called conservatives out there that are, rather than blaming President Obama, blaming the liberal left for more than likely hiring these scumbags to protest the Trump event, they are attacking Donald Trump? I mean, I have lost a lot of respect for Ted Cruz in the past week. And it has been a downward spiral for a long time, let me tell you. It goes all the way from lying about Ben Carson to now to the point where we are at where Ted Cruz is blaming Donald Trump for causing violence. I have some audio here for you that I want you to listen to. And I remind you, Donald Trump was just dealt with that protester on Saturday. It was in Cleveland, Ohio. And he just dealt with that, the protester storming the stage, scaring everybody, Secret Service, everybody, including him. And now we have Ted Cruz that is out there saying that Donald Trump is responsible for all of this. He's responsible for all of this chaos. Not Obama, not the liberal left. They weren't hired. Cruz is saying it's all Donald Trump. Listen to this.
And I also want to mention something about the events this evening in Chicago. This is a sad day. Political discourse should occur in this country without a threat of violence, without anger and rage and hatred directed at each other. We need to learn to have disagreements without being disagreeable, to have disagreements while respecting human beings on the other side. Earlier today, over 30 people were arrested at one rally. And then tonight, as violence broke out, the rally was canceled altogether. Now, the responsibility for that lies with protesters who took violence into their own hands. But in any campaign, responsibility starts at the top. Any candidate is responsible for the culture of the campaign.
All right, we're going to stop this for a minute here because there's something very important that Ted Cruz just stated here. He's saying that Donald Trump should be held responsible for the behavior of his supporters. He should be held responsible for the actions of his campaign. And because he's saying because Donald Trump's supporters, some of them are quote-unquote violent, this means that Donald Trump is the reason for that. Therefore, Donald Trump is the one who is promoting the chaos, who is encouraging the violence, who is encouraging this chaotic behavior taking place, and he's responsible for it. So if Donald Trump is responsible for his campaign and all the actions that has taken place under his campaign, then Ted Cruz is responsible for every staff member that has been lying about his opponents for political gain. That means that Ted Cruz is responsible for his staff calling the voters in Iowa, telling them that Ben Carson is going to drop out of the race. Don't waste your vote on him. Basically waste it on Ted Cruz. That's basically what Ted Cruz is saying here. So by Ted Cruz's staff deliberately lying, that means that Ted Cruz, by his own definition, is a liar. By his own logic, he is a liar. I'm just saying it the way it is, guys. This is exactly what Ted Cruz is saying. He is telling Donald Trump that he should be held responsible for his campaign when this man has had so many scandals in his campaign, more than any other Republican that I have ever known to run for the presidency of the United States. And this is coming from a guy who has been a supporter of Ted Cruz for quite some time. But it appears to me that this guy has been taking too many lessons from the lunatic Glenn Beck, because he is exactly morphing in to Glenn Beck. I'm just going to tell you like it is, all right? I used to like Glenn Beck, then he became crazy. I like Ted Cruz, but he is becoming crazy like Beck, okay? I'm just going to tell you. He is becoming a lunatic like Glenn Beck. He is supporting the Black Lives Matter people, because it's exactly who was responsible for this garbage. You had Black Lives Matter people that were protesting this event, siding in with Al Sharpton. This is Ted Cruz siding in with Al Sharpton. And then he's coming across telling people that he's a conservative. Why in the world would you be launching such vigorous attacks against Donald Trump, someone who's a member of your party, when you can't even name one thing, or more than one, I should say, because you point out health care, which I would agree with that. Donald Trump does have some flaws there. But you can't point out more than one thing that Donald Trump is liberal on. What are you going to say? Abortion? Donald Trump is pro-choice. No, he's not. That's another lie that has been promoted by the Cruz campaign. Donald Trump said that the only way that Planned Parenthood would be able to receive and continue receiving federal funding is if they ceased all practices of abortion, which would mean that you'd be pulling the largest abortion provider out of the abortion industry if an arrangement like that was made. So no, Donald Trump is not pro-choice. He's not pro-abortion. Then you have where the Cruz campaign was saying that Trump is in support of same-sex marriage. I remind you, in 2009, Donald Trump defended Miss California and stated publicly and had the liberal mainstream media all in a tizzy because he said that he believes that marriage is between a man and a woman, and Miss California can definitely, absolutely stay in his pageant. So the liar that Ted Cruz has turned into, I am not surprised since he started palling around with Glenn Beck. And I have been holding back saying anything in strong criticism of Ted Cruz because I like Ted Cruz. I liked him. But his defense of these protesters, his defense of the Al Sharpton groups, his attacks against Donald Trump for simply expressing conservative principles is absolutely disgusting. And I am absolutely appalled by what Ted Cruz has been stating, and especially what he stated that evening. Because let me tell you something, I'm just going to say it the way it is. Donald Trump said if anybody is going to come up here, if anybody is going to try to come at me, I'll pay your legal bills. You can beat them up. That's for his own security. And let's continue playing and hear what Ted Cruz says here. Keep playing it.
And when you have a campaign that disrespects the voters, when you have a campaign that affirmatively encourages violence, when you have a campaign that is facing allegations of physical violence against members of the press, you create an environment that only encourages this sort of nasty discourse.
Why does he always stutter? Why does he always take 15-second pauses in between words? Does anyone understand that? He says two words and then it's like pause, 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 pause. And then he puts another two words out and then pauses again for another 5-10 seconds. I don't understand it. Keep playing it.
That happy to answer some questions.
You think Trump should not cancel the rally tonight?
I think the decision should be based on public safety. But I think a campaign bears responsibility for creating an environment when the candidate urges supporters to engage in physical violence, to punch people in the face. The predictable consequence of that is that it escalates, and today is unlikely to be the last such instance. We saw earlier today in St. Louis over 30 arrested. That's not how our politics should occur. You know, the city of Chicago in 1968 saw some ugly days when politics descended into hatred and incivility and even violence. And it is my hope that in 2016 that we can appeal to our better angels, avoid going down that road once again.
All right, so that was Ted Cruz, okay? Now, let's see here. Okay, let's look at what we have here. This is from CNN, and I want to play this. This is Ted Cruz in an interview with Jake Tapper. Go ahead and play this. This is Senator Ted Cruz. Matter of fact, I'll just read this here for you. Because Ted Cruz is rolling out deportation force, is what it says here, to boot undocumented immigrants. And basically what it's saying is that Senator Ted Cruz, Texas Senator Ted Cruz, does not plan to authorize a special force or anybody to deport undocumented immigrants currently in the country. He told CNN's Jake Tapper. The issue was just one of many covered in the broad ranging interview, blah, blah, blah. He touched on guns and everything. Cruz said no deportation force. He said Cruz, who over the past few weeks has specifically endorsed deportations after months of resisting, said it in an interview that aired Sunday on State of the Union that the U.S. should catch those who came here illegally under normal law enforcement practices, not through roundups of the estimated 11 million undocumented people living in the U.S. No, I don't intend to send jackboots to knock on the door in every door in America. That's not how we enforce the law for any crime, CNN told Tapper on his campaign bus ambled across northern Iowa. Trump has promised to use basically a deportation force to get them out of here. So in other words, find them and get them. Have a special team to investigate them, to find out where they are and deport them back over to whatever country they came from. Well, anyway, this is actually a change from what Ted Cruz was supporting before. Because if we go back into the records, Senator Ted Cruz was not supporting what he referred to as citizenship. Was not supporting citizenship for these people. In other words, not allowing them to vote so they'd be disenfranchised. However, they would have a legal status living here in the United States. So he wanted to create a path to legal status for them. And this is Senator Ted Cruz. Now, guys, I'm just going to tell you, when you have people that have the first action upon coming to the United States is breaking our law, coming across the border illegally, that automatically makes them a criminal. So if they're not afraid to break the law, a U.S. law, one of the biggest ones that we have for foreigners, then what makes you think they're not going to break the law again when they get to the United States?
Fighting liberalism one lie at a time.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
J.P. Morgan is now holding a record 55 million ounces of silver. Goldman Sachs and HSBC recently purchased 7.1 tons of physical gold. What do these bankers and mega money managers know that you don't? They're expecting another financial crisis, and over time, they're expecting the value of gold and silver to increase. Silver is trading below its production costs and is predicted to double by 2020. That's why you need our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group offers gold and silver for direct delivery and will not be undersold. If you find a better rate, they will easily match it just for you. Plus, their specialty is precious metals IRA rollovers for the ultimate in IRA security. Be one of the first 20 callers today to receive their free definitive gold guide, plus their exclusive A Sterling Time to Be Buying Silver report. They have an A-plus rating with a Better Business Bureau, so call the experts at Capital Gold Group now and see what investing in gold and silver can do for you. Call now. Call 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108. Once again, that is 1-800-932-4108.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement, and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method, and to get your free report, go to 25security.com. That's the number 25security.com. 25security.com. Go to 25security.com.
All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at Bank on Yourself. Bank on Yourself is a company that basically teaches their clients how to invest money, how to prepare for their retirement, how to reduce their 401ks, basically how to manage your money wisely. And the president of the company is Pamela Yellen. She has investigated over 450 financial products and strategies in search for an alternative task and voluntary of traditional investments. She has appeared on every major TV and radio network, and her articles and interviews have appeared in thousands of publications and websites. And she is a New York Times bestseller on Bank on Yourself Revolution. Now, if you'd like to find out more, you can go to 25security.com. 25security.com. Once again, that is 25security.com. You know, running for the presidency is supposed to be about portraying yourself as the most professional candidate fit for the office.
Caiden Cowger.
So what does Hillary Clinton do?
Somebody had to say it.
She barks like a dog.
You know? Who let the dogs out? 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 You know?
Show notes and segments from today's show will be posted at CaidenCowgerProgram.com. If you're on Twitter, just follow Caiden Cowger at Caiden Cowger.
That would be the best decision of your life. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, American Auto Protection has announced an extended service plan that is now available to the general public. This plan reduces the cost of auto repair expenses. Maximum Car Care was created to assist qualifying car owners with lowering repair bills of cars under 130,000 miles and under 12 years old. Maximum Car Care works to limit the expense of auto repair bills, roadside assistance, rental coverage, and towing. Their number is 1-800-824-9762. That is 1-800-824-9762. Once again, that is 1-800-824-9762. Maximum Car Care is a proud sponsor of the Caiden Cowger program.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Caiden Cowger program. Great to have you with us. So there's something that I want to point out on Ted Cruz, all right? Because I looked up the video for myself of Ted Cruz on the issue of illegal immigration during the Gang of Eight bill back in 2013. And back then, Senator Cruz proposed an amendment that would grant legal status to illegal immigrants, allowing them to, quote-unquote, come out of the shadows, and was willing to compromise on the issue of illegal immigration. So rather than deporting them, he said we can give them legal status. That's what Ted Cruz said. We can give them legal status as long as they do not get citizenship and can't vote. However, they can stay here. So that's Ted Cruz. Okay, now I want you to listen to this for yourself very carefully. I want you to listen to this audio here. Okay, it's from 2013. Ted Cruz on providing legal status to illegal immigrants. And he talks about how he's willing to compromise and create a bipartisan agreement. Play it.
And I'd like to make a final point to those advocacy groups that are very engaged in this issue and rightly concerned about addressing our immigration system, and in particular about addressing the situation for the 11 million who are currently in the shadows. If this amendment is adopted to the current bill, the effect would be that those 11 million under this current bill would still be eligible for RPI status. They would still be eligible for legal status, and indeed under the terms of the bill, they would be eligible for LPR status as well, so that they are out of the shadows, which the proponents of this bill repeatedly point to as their principal objective, to provide a legal status for those who are here illegally to be out of the shadows. This amendment would allow that to happen. But what it would do is remove the pathway to citizenship so that there are real consequences that respect the rule of law and that treat legal immigrants with the fairness and respect they deserve. And a second point to those advocacy groups that are so passionately engaged. In my view, if this committee rejects this amendment, and I think everyone here views it as quite likely this committee will choose to reject this amendment. In my view, that decision will make it much, much more likely that this entire bill will fail in the House of Representatives. I don't want immigration reform to fail. I want immigration reform to pass. And so I would urge people of good faith on both sides of the aisle, if the objective is to pass common sense immigration reform that secures the borders, that improves legal immigration, and that allows those who are here illegally to come in out of the shadows, then we should look for areas of bipartisan agreement and compromise to come together. And this amendment, I believe, if this amendment were to pass, the chances of this bill passing into law would increase dramatically.
So that was Ted Cruz, willing to compromise on this issue, willing to compromise on illegal immigration and give legal status to these illegal immigrants, allowing them to stay in the United States and come out of the shadows. Now, Ted Cruz, had that amendment passed, would have supported that. He said that he was willing to compromise. He was willing to come to a bipartisan agreement on this. When in reality, Ted Cruz was basically saying that he's willing to compromise the Constitution. Everyone is saying that Ted Cruz is a constitutionalist. That's what I've been hearing from the get-go. When I heard this audio, when I watched this for myself, when I looked up the video myself, it revealed something to me that was completely the opposite. If we look in the 14th Amendment, it clearly states in Section 1, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. Now, what does that mean? All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof, blah, 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 etc., etc. Now, what is it talking about there? All persons born. It's talking about people who are born in the United States. I believe it was when the father was also a United States citizen, becomes a legal American. Legally, they become a natural-born American. They do not have to be naturalized. Well, through naturalization, we have a process that people go through. Do we not? That's what it means to be naturalized. You go through the proper process to become a legal United States citizen. What Ted Cruz is advocating for in this audio is basically a complete termination of our naturalization process in granting free legal status to the people of the United States, to the illegal immigrants in the United States, I mean. So do you think that's right? Do you think that that is thoroughly based upon constitutional principles, allowing people to reside in the United States? We have never offered this before in the beginning of the country's founding. If we have taken over a territory, like Hawaii, for example, then yeah, those people became United States citizens because we now own their land. However, granting legal status or any type of status other than illegal to people who have broken our laws is absolutely absurd. And there's nowhere in the Constitution where you would even get a slight hint that this would be okay. I mean, of course, the federal government has the right to create a naturalization process. However, what we're talking about here is a pathway, a free handout that Ted Cruz was advocating for that goes directly to these illegal immigrants. And had that amendment passed, I guarantee you Ted Cruz would have signed it. So I'm going to tell you something right now, guys. It's really just quite interesting to see how we have a lot of people out there that are willing to defend Ted Cruz, even no matter what he says, no matter what he does. And they even go to the extent of saying, never Trump. If Trump is the nominee, I will never vote for Trump. That is what Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio have done to the Republican Party. They have divided the party, and they're blaming Trump for it. And they have become so absolutely unreasonable that it's almost like they have developed some type of narcissism to where they think that they are the only ones qualified for the presidency. And if it's not them, then they're going to do everything that they possibly can to destroy the Republican Party. Because Ted Cruz is deliberately doing that. He is destroying the Republican Party. Marco Rubio is deliberately he's destroying the Republican Party. Because they are ones to talk about criticizing Donald Trump for apparently criticizing voters. However, how many times have they bashed Donald Trump and his views? Well, guess what? Over 40% of the Republican Party agrees with Donald Trump's views, so therefore you're alienating a large part of the Republican base, of the Republican electorate. But we have people, oh, well, whatever. Don't really focus on that, do you? I'm really I am so absolutely disgusted with the direction that the Republican Party has gone. And I am disgusted in a large part with what some so-called conservatives, the direction that they have gone. Because we have gotten to the point where if you disagree with someone on a few issues, we are belittling them to the extent of where we're basically we're doing all the work for Hillary Clinton, okay? If Donald Trump is the nominee, all Hillary has to do is just play the audio bits of Ted Cruz, of Marco Rubio, Donald Trump. If Donald Trump ends up getting it, I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see all the stuff that she's going to bring out that the other Republican candidates have said about him. But it's really just so absolutely frustrating to me. It is. Because they have said the harshest stuff about Donald Trump, far worse than what they have said about Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama.
Some say he's the next Rush Limbaugh.
I tell you, this kid's got 90% of Rush's venom with only 10% of the biomass.
Caiden Cowger.
Somebody had to say it.
All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at Bank on Yourself. Bank on Yourself is a company that teaches you how to invest money, how to prepare for your retirement, basically teaches you how to save money. And they are offering a free report right now that you can sign up for, 18 pages, absolutely free. You can get that by going to 25security.com. That is 25security.com. All you have to do is just type in your first name, last name, primary email, and they will send it right your way. That is 25security.com.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method and to get your free report, go to 25security.com. That's the number 25security.com. 25security.com. Go to 25security.com.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-824-9762. Again, 800-824-9762. That's 800-824-9762. 800-824-9762.
All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at Bank on Yourself. Bank on Yourself is a company that basically teaches their clients how to invest money, how to prepare for their retirement, how to reduce their 401ks, basically how to manage your money wisely. And the president of the company is Pamela Yellen. She has investigated over 450 financial products and strategies in search for an alternative task and voluntary of traditional investments. She has appeared on every major TV and radio network, and her articles and interviews have appeared in thousands of publications and websites. And she is a New York Times bestseller on Bank on Yourself Revolution. Now, if you'd like to find out more, you can go to 25security.com. 25security.com. Once again, that is 25security.com. You know, running for the presidency is supposed to be about portraying yourself as the most professional candidate fit for the office.
Caiden Cowger.
So what does Hillary Clinton do?
Somebody had to say it.
She barks like a dog.
You know? Who let the dogs out? 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 You know?
Show notes and segments from today's show will be posted at CaidenCowgerProgram.com. If you're on Twitter, just follow Caiden Cowger at Caiden Cowger.
That would be the best decision of your life. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, American Auto Protection has announced an extended service plan that is now available to the general public. This plan reduces the cost of auto repair expenses. Maximum Car Care was created to assist qualifying car owners with lowering repair bills of cars under 130,000 miles and under 12 years old. Maximum Car Care works to limit the expense of auto repair bills, roadside assistance, rental coverage, and towing. Their number is 1-800-824-9762. That is 1-800-824-9762. Once again, that is 1-800-824-9762. Maximum Car Care is a proud sponsor of the Caiden Cowger program.
Caiden Cowger.
All right,
Somebody
ladies
had
and
to
gentlemen,
say it.
welcome back to the Caiden Cowger program. It's great to have you with us. So we had the audio of Ted Cruz here, very disappointing, blaming Donald Trump for it all, rather than blaming the liberals for it, like he should be, blaming Donald Trump. And that has caused me to really lose a lot of respect for Ted Cruz, let me tell you, because when the Democrats are clearly responsible for this, and Ted Cruz is blaming this on a fellow Republican conservative, it really does, it irks me. It makes me so absolutely disgusted with Ted Cruz. They are all turning on Donald Trump in the Republican Party when Trump has really said nothing that has not been conservative except, like I've said before, his position on health care. Okay, now I want you to listen to this. This is Marco Rubio. This is what he said on the entire Donald Trump matter. Go ahead and play it.
Call yesterday of the debate, I said that presidents can't just say whatever they want. There are consequences to the words of a president. There are consequences to the words of a presidential candidate as well. You have a candidate in Donald Trump who clearly has used language that appeals to anger, and in some instances has actually said to the crowd, no, let's beat this person up, or let's do this, or let's do that. So it shouldn't surprise us that you see a growing amount of violence at some of his events. I would point out there isn't violence at my events. There isn't violence at Ted's events. There isn't violence at a Kasich event. There isn't violence at a Sanders event. There isn't violence at a Clinton event. There's only one presidential candidate who has violence at their events. And I do think Donald needs to realize and take responsibility for the fact that some of the rhetoric he has used could potentially be contributing to this environment that is growing increasingly disturbing for a growing number of Americans.
You want me to tell you why there's not very much violence at Marco Rubio's events? It's because no one's showing up. There was just an article that was posted on the Gateway Pundit of where Marco Rubio was expecting over 5,000 people to show up to an event at the Tampa Convention Center there right in his home state of Florida, and only 300 people showed up. 300 people showed up. They were expecting 5,000. So that's why there's not any violence at Marco Rubio's event. All that he is gaining is a bunch of people that really have absolutely no idea what they're talking about and want more of the same. They are politicos. They are establishment-type people. So, of course, when all of, really, the Democrats look at Rubio as being more of an ally than they do as being a threat. Because they know that if Marco Rubio ends up getting it, they're going to win easily. And they expect the same thing with Ted Cruz. That's why you don't see very many events at, or very many, fights and stuff, I guess, at Ted Cruz events. It's because Ted Cruz is not much of a threat to the Democrats right at this point. So what are they doing? They are targeting Donald Trump because they are afraid of Trump. They believe that Trump has a good chance of beating them. So the Democrats send out their organizations. You have MoveOn.org that was responsible for portions of this, I believe, from what I've heard. You have, is Organizing for America still going on? President Obama's old organization based out of Chicago. I mean, he had Trump went to Chicago, Illinois, Obama's home place, and we're wondering why there was a whole bunch of protesters there. And on top of all that, we're blaming Trump for the protesters. It's so absolutely despicable. The amount of attacks that Trump is receiving really makes me just want to see him get the nomination. It does. I want to see Trump get the nomination just so all of these absolute jerks will get what they deserve. Because when you are going out of your way to attack a presidential candidate like this that's running on the Republican side, it's so absolutely pathetic, because Trump would not have went after any of the candidates, be it Marco Rubio, be it Ted Cruz, be it any of them, Kasich, any of them, had they not went after him first. And another thing that we have here, Kasich recently stated that enemies are going to be using the Trump rally footage as a propaganda tool. So see, it's statements like this that has caused Donald Trump to respond back and go after these people. So when you have people out there that are saying, well, you know, Trump is in the error here, Trump is in the wrong here, Trump should not have been going after Ted Cruz, Trump should not have been going after Marco Rubio, Trump should not have been going after John Kasich. The reason why Trump started going after these people is because they first started going after him. So he simply responded. That's what really just disgusts me. it's like some of these people who have been in politics for quite some time just expect Donald Trump to get punched in the face and then not defend himself. I mean, because basically Ted Cruz punched Trump in the face. Marco Rubio punched Trump in the face. Jeb Bush punched Trump in the face. Didn't do much damage, but punched him. And what? They expect Trump not to defend himself? Not to put his fists up? Not to throw a few jabs back? That's the hypocrisy that we have developed in this country when it comes to the media here. And a lot of right-wing outlets are doing the same thing. They are moving over to that side. And Ted Cruz is becoming just as nutty as Glenn Beck. I hate saying that. I really do. I really do. I hate saying those words. Because I know that there are a lot of people who like Ted Cruz that listen to this show. And I like Ted Cruz. I did. But it's getting harder and harder to as time goes on when he is deliberately attacking Republicans like this. And to be completely honest with you, I think Ted Cruz is very immature along with Marco Rubio. And I don't think that either of them have the experience or the maturity level to be president. They really don't. Marco Rubio definitely doesn't. Now I'm going to go ahead and say it again. If Trump is not the nominee, I will still support Ted Cruz. Unless Trump is tossed out at the Republican convention by, what do they call it? By having an open convention and Mitt Romney would come in or someone else would come in, be it Rubio or Cruz. And if Trump would be mistreated like that, treated very unfairly and run third party, I will cast my vote for Donald Trump. But I am so absolutely disgusted with the way that Republican candidates have been treating each other and treating Donald Trump specifically, because it is absolutely uncalled for. And when Trump has donated money to all of their campaigns and then they start belittling him and attacking him like they have done, it really does reveal a lot to me. Because didn't Trump say that he donated money to the Cruz campaign? I'm going to look that up real quick. Didn't Trump say, yeah, that's exactly right. Back in April 17th of 2014, Donald Trump made a donation to Ted Cruz. He made a donation to Ted Cruz. So guys, I mean, seriously, listen, this hotel magnate Donald Trump donated $5,000 to Ted Cruz's leadership PAC in January, according to new campaign records. Trump showed support for the Texas Republicans leadership PAC, the maximum amount allowed under law per election cycle. So he donated money to Ted Cruz's campaign. When you donate money to a candidate's campaign like that, like what Donald Trump did for Ted Cruz, it really does speak volumes to me when Ted Cruz then turns around and starts going, well, he donated money to Hillary Clinton. He donated money to Harry Reid, donated money to all these people. Well, guess what, Dodo? He donated money to you too. And the thing that really just absolutely disgusts me is that Ted Cruz, after receiving this donation from Donald Trump, rather than being grateful and just leaving that entire thing alone, he tries to use that for political advantage. And that's a politician. So for Ted Cruz trying to portray himself as being this outsider politician that's not this average, your average politician guy, to do something as horrible as that, like basically he's walking in the footsteps of Mitt Romney. It's really just absolutely despicable, and to me, it shows Ted Cruz's character. He's ungrateful. He is not afraid to, basically, he's willing to criticize Trump for donating money to Democrats, even though he's donated the maximum amount of money that he possibly can to Ted Cruz, to his own campaign. But, of course, Ted Cruz doesn't dare say that. It's politics. I hate politics so much. I'm so disgusted with it. I am tired of it. I despise it because that's what it's turned into, and that's really why I wouldn't mind seeing Donald Trump in there, because he'll change. I truly believe that he will transform the entire system.
Caiden Cowger. Keeping America straight.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at Bank on Yourself. Bank on Yourself is a company that teaches you how to invest money, how to prepare for your retirement, basically teaches you how to save money. And they are offering a free report right now that you can sign up for, 18 pages, absolutely free. You can get that by going to 25security.com. That is 25security.com. All you have to do is just type in your first name, last name, primary email, and they will send it right your way. That is 25security.com.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method and to get your free report, go to 25security.com. That's the number 25security.com. 25security.com. Go to 25security.com.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-824-9762. Again, 800-824-9762. That's 800-824-9762. 800-824-9762.
All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at Bank on Yourself. Bank on Yourself is a company that basically teaches their clients how to invest money, how to prepare for their retirement, how to reduce their 401ks, basically how to manage your money wisely. And the president of the company is Pamela Yellen. She has investigated over 450 financial products and strategies in search for an alternative task and voluntary of traditional investments. She has appeared on every major TV and radio network, and her articles and interviews have appeared in thousands of publications and websites. And she is a New York Times bestseller on Bank on Yourself Revolution. Now, if you'd like to find out more, you can go to 25security.com. 25security.com. Once again, that is 25security.com. You know, running for the presidency is supposed to be about portraying yourself as the most professional candidate fit for the office.
Caiden Cowger.
So what does Hillary Clinton do?
Somebody had to say it.
She barks like a dog.
You know? Who let the dogs out? 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 You know?
Show notes and segments from today's show will be posted at CaidenCowgerProgram.com. If you're on Twitter, just follow Caiden Cowger at Caiden Cowger.
That would be the best decision of your life. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, American Auto Protection has announced an extended service plan that is now available to the general public. This plan reduces the cost of auto repair expenses. Maximum Car Care was created to assist qualifying car owners with lowering repair bills of cars under 130,000 miles and under 12 years old. Maximum Car Care works to limit the expense of auto repair bills, roadside assistance, rental coverage, and towing. Their number is 1-800-824-9762. That is 1-800-824-9762. Once again, that is 1-800-824-9762. Maximum Car Care is a proud sponsor of the Caiden Cowger program.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Caiden Cowger program. Great to have you with us. I want to read for you what Donald Trump said about Ted Cruz back in 2014, because Donald Trump gave $5,000 to Ted Cruz in 2014, and listen to what Trump said. This is the reason why I did it. He said, one of the reasons I like Ted Cruz so much is that he is not controversial. It's not that he's not controversial, is what he said. He said he shouldn't be controversial because what he is doing is right. He took a stand recently that if he just had a little backing, and Ted and I have spoken about this from other Republicans, he would have negotiated one heck of a deal. It might not have ended Obamacare, but you would have really gotten a big chunk out of it, Trump added. And he was referring to the government shutdown. He said, Republicans, they hit him harder than they hit Democrats. So that's what Donald Trump said. Told the Hill, or stated, and didn't tell the Hill, but said this at a Republican Party Lincoln Day dinner in Palm Beach County. Defended Ted Cruz, saying, attacking the Republicans because they were hitting him harder than they were hitting the Democrats. And then, last year, Donald Trump predicted that Ted Cruz would be hitting him hard. And he said, we are going to hit him back harder. He said, it's going to be a sad day because I like Ted, but we're going to have to hit back harder. And what ends up happening? Ted Cruz ends up hitting Donald Trump harder than he's hitting the Democrats. He attacks the man that once defended him, that gave him $5,000, a maximum amount of money. What a little weasel. I'm sorry, I'm just telling you the way that it is, guys. I mean, it's politics. This guy is your average politician. He's not an outsider like he's been claiming. That's why Ben Carson did not endorse Ted Cruz. It's because Ben Carson sees what goes on the inside, being a presidential candidate. And when he saw Ted Cruz spreading this deception against him, I mean, that's worse than the little bit of name-calling that Donald Trump was doing against Carson, okay? Deception and dishonesty is far worse than calling someone a name, in my opinion. And I'd say that Ben Carson believes the same way, considering that he endorsed Trump. But attacking this guy, saying that he's contributing to chaos, saying that he is destroying the party, destroying the country, promoting violence, all this other stuff, it's so absolutely absurd. But that's Ted Cruz. That's what Ted Cruz has turned into. He has turned into a nut like Glenn Beck. He has been paddling around with Glenn Beck for the past several years, and I would say that Glenn Beck has finally gotten to him, and that he is serving as one of Ted Cruz's coaches. He is serving as one of the guys that is advising Ted Cruz. One of the guys advising Ted Cruz. Because, I mean, guys, I'm just going to tell you, it has been very disheartening to see Ted Cruz just go down this path of where he's on the side of Black Lives Matter, of where he's on the side of Al Sharpton, of where he's on the side of Democrats, of where he's on the side of liberals. But I've always said this time and time again, when incumbents become incompetent, it's time to get them out. And Ted Cruz is well on his way there. I really have to say, when you're partnering up with those groups, and you are saying that Donald Trump is responsible for it, not the Black Lives Matter group, not the Democrats, not the liberals, but blaming a fellow Republican conservative, you're helping the Democrats, and that makes you an enemy. That makes you someone who really is not our friend. Because when you're contributing and assisting the Democratic Party in their attacks against the GOP and against conservatism, which is really what Donald Trump has been expressing, it truly reveals that you do not have our best interests at heart. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for listening to us tonight. For more information on the Caiden Cowger program, go to CaidenCowgerProgram.com, and for the latest news exposing the left, go to CowgerNation.com. Thank you, God bless, and God save this nation.